I'm Monica Miller, and I am the guest curator of Superfine Tailoring Black Style. The champion section in Superfine really highlights the relationship between athletes, fashion, and style. So we're looking at that phenomenon actually across a couple of hundred years. So not only contemporarily, but actually back all the way into the 19th century. The piece that I really love in this section is the jockey silks that are behind me, the historic jockey silks. So in the 19th century, horse racing was really the sort of premier sport. And for much of the 19th century, black jockeys were by far, right, the most successful jockeys in the sport. That is even true during the time of enslavement. These jockey silks are really rare. They may not have been worn by an enslaved person, but they were definitely made by enslaved labor. In the championship section, we are actually highlighting boxing, horse racing, and also basketball. So the inspiration for the ways in which we're talking about boxing really comes from iconic boxers like Jack Johnson and Muhammad Ali, right? One of the things that we know about Muhammad Ali, right, is that he enjoyed being beautiful, both in the ring and outside of the ring. So right here, we're looking at some boxing gloves that were designed by Gallery Dept or Josue Thomas. We can think about the relationship between the use value, right, and the sort of beautiful value of athletic equipment, and to notice, right, that it can and often is both. I'm standing here between two ensembles by Saul Nash that are clearly inspired by boxing. So this look over my shoulder here, right, we can see the way that the scarf in this ensemble is clearly inspired. Like, we see so many pictures of boxers coming out of the ring, right, with towels around their necks. Over my shoulder over here, we can see another ensemble where the tracksuit here includes a kind of tuxedo-like cummerbund that is actually a bag, right, instead of a kind of functional cummerbund. But here again, thinking about the ways in which a tracksuit can be accessorized with something that's sort of useful, right, but also reads at the same time as fashion. I'm standing here in front of a case that includes items from Walt Clyde Frazier. Behind me, you can see the Puma Clyde, right, which was the first shoe, right, that was associated with an athlete and that had an athlete's name on it. You can see Walt also, in every Knicks broadcast, actually just styling out, right, in his incredible, often really patterned and colorful suits. But that whole fashion thing started for him way back in the 1970s. So you can see also over my shoulder, Jet magazine that's featuring him in the 1970s in incredibly iconic fur coat and a fedora hat. We also are including one of his hats because he's called Walt Clyde Frazier because the movie Bonnie and Clyde came out not too soon after he bought a series of hats and started wearing them publicly, and they thought, wow, he looks like Clyde from Bonnie and Clyde. So that's how he became Walt Clyde Frazier. So fashion, accessories are really a part, right, of how we experience Walt Frazier, and that's not even thinking about him as one of the most decorated basketball players ever. Superfine Tailoring Black Style is open from May 10th to October 26th, and I hope to see you at the Met.